Hello, welcome back to my channel. This is definitely a first video that I've ever made on, this is just very different. This is all very weird. I kind of wanted to just talk about my thoughts and feelings on the whole coronavirus. I know that my channel is all about mental health advocacy, me being totally honest about my mental health journey and trying to give as much reassurance and comfort to as many people as I can who suffer with similar anxieties to me, and that's what the channel's all about. And I've had quite a few messages from you guys about the coronavirus and how it's really affecting your mental health, and it is really scary. It's a really scary thing that's happening right now, and I just wanted to kind of talk about it and talk about my experience a little bit. I'm currently quarantined. I have been for, I don't actually know how many days. I'm really losing track of the days, but I have 4 days left. It's Sunday today and I need to quarantine until Thursday or Friday. Don't know. I'll need to phone somebody and ask properly. I wanted to say firstly, the reason that I'm making this video is because a lot of you have got in touch, and I suffer with emetophobia as my main health anxiety thing, but I suffer generally with pretty severe health anxiety. That's where most of my anxiety comes from, and I've had agoraphobia, for varying degrees of agoraphobia, for about 8 years maybe, I don't know exactly. I was housebound for 3 months a few years ago with just very severe panic attacks, and obviously being quarantined is really difficult for me. It feels a little bit like cabin fever. I'm a recovering agoraphobic, and I leave the house every single day as part of my exposure therapy, and also just because I feel like sometimes when I don't leave the house I start to get really anxious because it feels like I'm back there. And so this is definitely a massive challenge for me, being quarantined. But I just wanted to talk about everything in one video, so that hopefully this can reassure some people and make you feel a little bit, tiny little bit less stressed. I know this is a really stressful situation, and so I'm just hoping this can give you a tiny bit of reassurance. I am quarantined because I know somebody that's tested positive for coronavirus, and I was with them in the days when they would have been contagious. I've recently, just this morning, got the phone call that I am negative for coronavirus, which is absolutely great, but I still have to quarantine till Thursday, just in case, because sometimes you can test negative when you're positive. I'm guessing the reason I still have to stay quarantined is because they don't really know all the ins and outs about the virus, so they don't know if I'm still contagious or if I can maybe pass it on even if I'm negative. I think they're just making sure and being super safe, and I'm definitely willing to do whatever the doctors tell me to do. So yeah, I'm quarantined because I was with somebody that since tested positive, and I just want to talk to you quickly about the process. I had to go up to hospital. I phoned them and told them I have been with somebody that's tested positive for coronavirus, what should I do? They then put me in touch with the hospital, who told me to come up. I made an appointment with them and I had to go up and get tested at the hospital. That in itself was a very difficult thing for me because the hospital I had to go to is probably like half an hour away maybe. And so that in itself for my agoraphobia was difficult, but I think when you're put in a situation where you know you have to do this for not just yourself but for the greater good of people and all that kind of stuff, you do just kind of go with it and just try your best to stay as calm as possible. I also have a lot of different kinds of drugs that doctors have given me previously for anxiety, so I know that I have everything that I possibly could need. So I went up to the hospital and they test you in your car. So my dad drove me, and he was literally wearing a buff like up to here. And basically you wait in a car queue, and when you are seen, you aren't allowed to roll your windows down for anybody except the person that has the full hazmat suit on and everything, and they stick a swab down your throat and up your nose, and it takes probably 5 seconds. Like I said, I've got a phobia of sick, and so somebody sticking something down my throat was really difficult, but except from that, it was all fine. Then I went home, I was told to quarantine, and that was my whole experience of being tested. So yeah, I do know somebody that has the coronavirus, and they have experienced, at the most, I would say, a flu. They have had like a cough, a bit of wheezing, feeling really exhausted and coldy and all that kind of stuff, but apart from that they are feeling totally healthy and fine, and their symptoms lasted less than a week. So this is just all the information that I have from somebody that tested positive. I know that depending on your age, depending on your health and all that kind of stuff, circumstances can be different for everybody, but for most people, that if they are to come into contact with it, if they were to test positive, I think the most they would really experience is flu-like symptoms, but it can definitely be different for different people. I just wanted to put out there that the person that I know with it is absolutely fine. I think the most is that they are bored, and I think everybody that's having to quarantine, I think the most that people are experiencing is boredom. So I'm just going to quickly answer some. I've had so many questions. I'm just going to quickly make sure that I'm not missing anybody or any questions that I've had. So I've had questions from a lot of people that have agoraphobia and severe anxiety, and they said that they really don't think they'd be able to cope if they had to be quarantined. The main thing, I think, is because it means that they can't go into contact with other people, and I totally understand that being the scariest thing. I think for me, actually, that was one of the scariest things, and the thought of going to hospital was really scary as well. But I want to quickly mention here, when I spoke to them on the phone and I said, like, they were like, oh, just to let you know, we're like putting your test results through now, and so we should phone you soon. And I said, just to let you know, if I am positive, I really don't feel like I could go to hospital. If I had to, then I would, and if it meant that I would be making other people safer, then I would. But I would really, really, really struggle if I had to go to hospital, because I have agoraphobia. I would have to be on a lot of medication. I would really, really struggle with it, because obviously my parents couldn't come up and see me. Like, it would just be really difficult. And they said, well, because of your mental health problems and because we have them on record and all the rest of it, we would take that into consideration. If you maybe would have to be quarantined into hospital still, but we would definitely look into making it as comfortable and easy as possible for you, and so maybe you would be able to be seen at home. So that's something that you can definitely talk to your doctor about if you are worried about that, or if you are currently in testing or anything like that. If you're somebody that has asthma, if you're somebody that has a weaker immune system, all that kind of stuff, I would say talk to your doctor. Most people are being told to just kind of carry on as normal with upping your hygiene and all the rest of it, making sure you're washing your hands very regularly, especially after being in public spaces or in public transport. The only reason why this is such a scary thing that's constantly all over the news and all the rest of it at the moment, the only reason why that's happening is because it's new, it's brand new, it's like a totally new virus. They have no idea how it's going to affect people, how it passes from person to person. They don't really know yet. They don't know that once you get the virus, that's you forever fine once you get rid of it, or if it's something that lingers. They don't know anything yet. So that's why they're really, really trying to take it really seriously. That's why I'm still having to quarantine even though I'm negative until Thursday. They're making sure, and they're covering absolutely all bases. I would say if you are somebody with really severe anxiety, especially if you have really severe anxiety and you also have something like asthma or a weaker immune system, I would say there is absolutely no harm in quarantining yourself for your mental health. And there's also no harm in not watching the news. There's also no harm in taking yourself off social media for a while and trying to stay in your own bubble. I've been doing a little bit of that. I want to make this video so that I can direct people to this video. But except from that, I am going to be trying to stay in a relatively positive bubble as much as I possibly can, and not panic about this. But I know that's much easier said than done, and I know that a lot of people are panicking. It's difficult to stay calm when you have panic disorder, when literally the whole world is panicking. But on one hand, I'm kind of like, I panic every day, guys. Welcome to my world. But yeah, they're all the questions I can think of to answer right now. If you have any more questions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments and I can reply. I'm going to try and reply to every single comment on this video because I want to reassure people as much as possible And I know this is a really difficult and scary time, so try and stay safe and wash your hands as much as possible, and don't go to public spaces when you can avoid it. Speak to your therapist or doctor, maybe talk to your parents or your partner or friends about exit plans, about strategies, about if I get this virus, will you still be able to go shopping for me? Will you still be able to do this, this and this? Maybe speak to your doctor if you have severe health anxiety and see if they can offer you any medications or get you in contact with somebody that you need to get in contact with. It's okay to be panicking about this. It's okay to have mental health problems. It's okay to have anxiety, and it's okay that your anxiety is getting a bit worse at this time. This doesn't mean that your anxiety is going to stay bad forever. This is just how it is right now for you, and this will eventually blow over, and we just need to try and stay as calm as possible in the meantime and take each hour as it comes. And I hope this video gave you a little bit of reassurance and made you feel a little bit less anxious about this. Like I said, feel free to ask questions in the comments, and that is all I've got to say right now. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.